Yes, we are live in Philadelphia, city of brotherly, windy love. Images do not convey temperature, my friends. It is cold out here, but we're very excited for an epic Sunday night football game on NBC later tonight between the Eagles and the Lions. And we'll be getting you ready the next 2 hours for an epic slate of football. Huge games on tap. We'll be discussing all of them, get you questions. Fantasy Football Pregame. I'm Jay Croucher, here with Matthew Berry and Lawrence Jackson.
Fantasy Football Pregame with Matthew Berry.
Okay, here we are on the field.
Yes.
Matthew Berry, rugged up, cold, kind of ready to go. Lawrence Jackson's struggling here with the weather. How are you feeling, Matthew?
I'm cold. I'm cold. It's
You look
windy.
good.
I don't know if it's my brittle bones, but I'm very cold. Lawrence very smartly wore a hat. I didn't wear a hat, and so what few hairs I have are flying around. Jay, your hair is all gust, all about. But anyway, it's very exciting. Do you think the people? By the way, thank you for watching us right now. You're not missing anything.
In Madrid.
In Madrid, you're absolutely not. Do you think they're like everyone in Madrid is just like, oh, this isn't that different from soccer? Like,
6'3".
It's 6'6". I think
That's a good way to look at it.
Exactly. It's just a bunch of kickers.
It's a Carlos Alcaraz type of scoreline in Madrid. It's been a tough morning for the people watching at home. Matthew's all rugged up. He was watching golf instructional videos before when he should have been watching his football team. Lawrence on his breakfast sandwich asked when quizzed on what bread that he would like. He said regular bread, which is
Golf actually correct.
Yeah. Lawrence is one of those people where in a movie, if he was at a bar, he would say, "Can I have a beer?" Without specifing.
What kind of beer?
Yeah,
a regular
just
beer.
some beer. Some beer.
A regular beer.
Unbelievable.
All right. Well, let's get to it. We got to get people. We're going to get people a win here in week number 11. You can watch us and the game in a second screen as well. Of course, we always, Jay, answer more questions than any other pregame show out there.
That's actually correct.
Just use the hashtag FFPregame on social media or comment on the YouTube comments, and we will get to them as well.
Let's start off with a toast. Matthew, who have you got for us?
I said to producer Damien, I said, well, the obvious toast is, I said, but somebody took them, right? Because we all sort of, whoever gets there first, and like no one took it, which is I have to be honest with you, is a failure of the two of you. Because no one should be toasted today other than Jameis Winston. Today is about Jameis Winston. Who wins, America wins. We're all eating W's. Here's a toast to famous Jameis, bringing some excitement back to New York football. Excited to see him. Always fun. Win or lose, the post-game press conference will be must-watch TV.
Absolutely. Good to have Jameis, a much more compelling figure than Russell Wilson. We take a look at Jameis with a beautiful, upright walking gait, ready to make his first start in New York against the Packers, 7-point dogs. Lawrence, who you got?
I'm going with Jackson Smith and Jigba, man. Look, this guy, Jackson Smith, is, I would say he was carrying the Seahawks offense this year. Leader in the NFL with receiving yards by far, and he's not needing a lot of catches to get to that number. Look, I know the MVP is a quarterback award and then maybe Jonathan Taylor, but if there was going to be a receiver, I would say Jackson Smith and Jigba. Now you go up against the Rams. Let's see if they can stop you. Toast to that young man.
Yeah, I like it. As the crew starts busting out the hand warmers very wisely.
I need him.
Please, let's share them around, fellas.
I need him. Todd is disgusted with me, just so you know. Like, the leader of our crew, Todd, is absolutely disgusted with my lameness. But you know what, America, everyone knows this. As everyone's ever seen me on TV, they know. I'm nothing if not unfailingly honest.
Yes.
And so I'm not hiding my wimpiness. I'm cold.
Look, people can see the papers out here. Look,
it's the wind chill. That's what it is.
This is hitting me in the chest.
Yes.
Yes.
Lucky you grew up in Texas and not Russia.
I mean, I'm just you ain't lying there.
Okay.
But it's what may be soft to the weather here. Jay, who are you toasting?
I'm toasting Devontae Smith, who was, I think, until recently, a bit of a forgotten figure in the NFL. This guy won the Heisman Trophy.
Yes.
He's a superstar coming out of college.
Roll Tide.
A Super Bowl champion last year and played well in the Super Bowl. And I think he is finally now, for the first time in a year or so, really breaking out. His target share, as we talked about on the show through the week, is rivaled recently only by Jamar Chase and your man Jackson Smith and Jigba. So toast to Devontae Smith. Hope he lights up Sunday Night Football.
I like the fact that I'm the only one that actually has something to toast with, the two of you.
I just gave him a nice little salute there, like,
that was a win-based decision on my part. Richard Griot, facing my arch rival, my brother, this week, and need a flex ruling. Keenan Allen, Tirico McMillan, or Ricky Pearsall need the hashtag FFF pregame blessing before kickoff. Matthew, who you got for Richard?
Well, I don't feel great about it, but I think the answer is Tirico McMillan, right? I mean, we just don't know what we're going to get out of Pearsall. We feel better about this Niners offense now that Brock Purdy is back, but also Juwan Jennings, George Kittle, Chris McCaffrey. They've gotten some production from Kendrick Bourne. Like, it's just a lot of mouths to feed for the 49ers. And Keenan Allen, honestly, since the emergence of Rondé Gadsden, has kind of been trending downward.
Yeah, he cooled
It's been
off.
a while since we've seen him even get to like 70 yards. So I think Tirico McMillan, look, it's frustrating, obviously, because they try to hide Bryce Young. Like, they just hand off all the time, but they will take a couple of shots at least to McMillan. I think he's got the best chance at having a touchdown or a long play of those. So that would be my pick is McMillan.
Yep, I'm with you there. They're 3.5-point dogs, so you'd expect that they should, at some point, need to throw the ball, not just be able to rely on the run. Let's take a look at some notable players already ruled out, headlined by Giants quarterback Jackson Dart, who is expected back, so some optimism that he will return in Week 12, but he won't be out there today. It'll be famous Jameis against the Packers. CJ Stroud, some pessimism about his availability on the short turnaround against the Bills on Thursday night. Bucky Irving, good that he was able to get back at practice, but he'll be out. J.K. Dobbins expected out for the season now with that foot injury on IR. Isaiah Pacheco won't be able to go, so it'll be the Kareem Hunt show, for better or worse. Marvin Harrison out with appendicitis. Terry McLaurin not playing in Madrid. Chris Godwin, same bucket as Bucky Irving. Sam Laporta on IR, which is kind of a big one.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. Brock Wright will be the nominal tight end for the Lions. We'll see tonight how much they use him. It's kind of interesting. In a deep tight end premium league, I grabbed Brock Wright. We'll see, but I'm not starting him this week. But I think it'll be interesting. Probably more targets for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams.
Yeah, Brock Wright is receiving props set at 15.5 receiving yards.
Yeah,
so
just so you know.
Not
right,
expecting
exactly.
huge
Let's not
things.
get crazy.
Yep. Okay, we have a question coming up from George Haiti Lawrence. Drake London, who's questionable but expected to play, or Rashee Rice, PPR?
Oof, man.
Okay, can we not play both of them?
Yeah, I was about to say that's a hell of a list.
Who's in your flex?
I would go Drake London going against the weaker defense. Denver's a little more tough. You know Rashee Rice is getting the target share, but so is Drake London. I'm gonna just go with the guy going against the weaker defense.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think I might. London's been a bit banged up this week. Chiefs are off of a bye. No Pat Surtain. I think I would go Rashee Rice here, but I think it's close.
Yeah, very, very close.
Drake London coming off an illness, returning from Germany. I believe I had that same illness coming back from Germany 15 years ago when I was backpacking around Dresden. Let's take a look at some other notable injury updates. Headlined by Drake London, who is expected to go. We'll see at what capacity. Brian Thomas Jr. trending towards missing this one, and we'll talk about the repercussions off of that. Quentin Johnston with the shin is expected to go. Calvin Ridley as well with the hamstring likewise. Packers receivers past and present. Matthew Golden, Devontae Adams. Devontae expected to go. Bam Knight, whose injury designation is a bigger topic than I expected it to have been come the start of the season, but he too, Lawrence, is expected to go.
With Bam Knight is interesting too, just because he hasn't really been productive here. So it'll be interesting to see which way that backfield goes if he isn't available.
It seems like they want Amari DiMarcado to be more of the guy.
He's been the guy who breaks the longer runs, whether he's holding on to the ball in the end zone or not. He's been the guy who's consistently the breakaway running back.
He was in my Amari DiMarcado was in my 10 facts you need to know before Week 11 column. That's on Rotoworld.com and NBCSports.com. Of course, I'm a company man. The other one that's interesting is like a lot of those guys, like maybe Matthew Golden plays, maybe he doesn't. Who cares? Like, it's been a disappointing season for Matt. Like, I can't imagine starting him. I can't imagine starting Calvin Ridley. That the Titans offense is just a disaster. Most of those guys, I think you're probably ignoring.
It also, Golden doesn't really impact decisions on other players on the Packers side. And Romeo Dobbs is probably the best option of a bad group of options.
They'll take a deep shot or two to Christian Watson in this one. The Giants also play a lot of man coverage, and so Watson's usually pretty good against man.
Okay, let's stay in the NFC North and get to some burning questions.
Let's roll that graphic.
George Savaricas not with us today. As
It's
he is
definitely
banned
not
from
burning
the state
here
of
on this
Pennsylvania.
field.
He may be with us in Missouri in a couple of weeks, but yeah, not allowed to breach the Pennsylvania border. But let's get into Chicago, Georgia's team, +3 at Minnesota. Total is 47.5. Matthew, J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota wide receivers. Can they take advantage of a pretty weak Bears secondary, and who are we actually starting with confidence outside of Justin Jefferson?
See, I'm not even starting Jefferson with confidence. No, I mean, am I starting Justin Jefferson? Of course I am. Let's not get crazy here. I'm starting Justin Jefferson, but with confidence? I'm not starting him with confidence. Like the positives is that he looks for him, right? 32% target share from J.J. McCarthy so far this season. Bears allow the 5th most fantasy points per game to opposing wide receivers. But he's now had back-to-back games with under 50 receiving yards. In J.J. McCarthy's 4 starts, he's averaging 12.6 fantasy points per game. 4 points less than he was with Carson Wentz. He seems to have killed Jordan Addison as well. Now, I have Jordan Addison, wide receiver 30. I have Jefferson just inside my top 10. So, Addison is a boom-bust wide receiver 3, a low-end wide receiver 3. I hope he gets into the end zone here. But I want no part of J.J. McCarthy. I get the matchup. And I know that Jalen Naylor had some nice success last week, but I just have not seen enough from J.J. McCarthy to feel good about, the Vikings passing offense. I think they'll lean on the run game. You still got to start Jefferson because he's Justin Jefferson, but I do think you have to lower expectations.
Yep. Question from Eduardo Suarez as Deebo Samuel rumbles into the end zone. Flex 1, Addison, Schultz, or Worthy, Lawrence?
I actually will go Dalton Schultz right here.
Agree.
He's going to likely get more targets than either one of those wide receivers. He's likely going to do more with them. Both of those guys, and Jordan Addison and especially Xavier Worthy, you're hoping for a long gain or a deep ball touchdown, and you don't want to sweat that out. Go get that 5 for 50 and possibly a touchdown from Dalton Schultz.
Yep, I think I agree.
I do too.
Dalton Schultz and Davis Mills. Got to take that hook up over Xavier Worthy. Who came in.
And by the way, a bet that I bet was I bet Davis Mills under 31.5 pass attempts. By the way, I think they kill him. I just don't think they have to throw at all.
Yeah, no, I like
potentially a defensive score.
We'll get to that in shot for shot. I like the Texans as well. Matthew, Caleb Williams, who's had, I think statistically, an uneven season. I say football-wise, it's been encouraging for the most part. Can he remain a QB1 against a tough Brian Flores defense?
I sure hope so. I have him QB8, right? Back-to-back games with at least 25 fantasy points. He's had 116 rushing yards in that stretch, which is really nice. And so, he's using his legs quite a bit. 3 of the past 4 quarterbacks against Minnesota have scored at least 19 fantasy points, including some mobile guys in Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts. And that's the thing. Caleb's been more willing to use his legs this year. And so, to your point, Flores blitzes. He sees pressure. He's willing to take off. So you think about the Week 1 game where he scored 24 fantasy points against these same Minnesota Vikings. Like I said, I have Caleb as my number 8 quarterback this week. I think he's a QB1.
Yep, like it. I feel like Tom Cruise in Minority Report moving around all these paperweights.
I know, right?
To keep the show going. Austin Mitchell question, need 2 full PPR. Woody Marks, Kamani Vidal, or Rome Dunze. Matthew, who we got here?
Yeah, it's a really good matchup. I don't think you can screw this one up. I actually, weirdly, might bench a Dunze. I know it depends on what you need, right? I get it. Adunze's been great, but he's been a little quiet recently, and they did a really good, nice job on Adunze in week 1, where they just kind of bracketed him. And so I know I like the matchup for Kamani Vidal on the road at Jacksonville. Jay, we've talked all week long on Fantasy Football Happy Hour about how bad that Jaguars run defense is. And so we think Vidal has a nice game here. And Woody Marks look terrific, and they're playing the Titans. The Jaguars might be the only run defense worse than the Titans. Yep. And so Adunze, again, against Minnesota, where they might try to take him out of it. Believe it or not, Adunze is who I think I bench here.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys.
Lawrence?
No, not at all. The running, we saw Kamani Vidal, the back 2 of his last 3 games, over 20 carries. So, give me the 2 running backs.
Okay, let's.
This is Lawrence's first time on TV, in fairness.
I have to. I am the code is whooping my ass right now.
Oh, thanks. See, I'm not alone, Todd.
No, you're definitely not alone.
Todd, not alone.
All right, let's get to one of the biggest
Todd's
games.
not disgusted with you, too. He just shook his head.
Todd's looking very toasty. He's got his hands in his pockets.
Yeah,
Nice
can't
pair of
get my
sunglasses
papers
as well.
right, nothing.
Oh, he's got the hand warmers
he's got
going.
hand warmers,
Oh,
exactly.
hand warmer Todd. Unbelievable. All right, let's jump to Kansas City, who are now up to 4.5-point favorites at Denver. Total is 44.5. I think fantasy-wise, the biggest question, Lawrence, is with J.K. Dobbins out, what type of workload can we expect for R.J. Harvey?
You're about to expect a different one. He hasn't had double-digit touches since week 4, and that's about to change drastically right now. You look at the other running backs on that roster, Jaleel McLaughlin hasn't even had a carry since week 6. So I expect that we're going to see the coming out party of R.J. Harvey. Sean Payton usually likes to go with those two backs, but I don't think he'll be left a choice here today than to go with the second-round rookie.
Yep.
See, you think he wouldn't be left with a choice, but it feels like you've never watched a Sean Payton offense before.
Let me not knock Jaleel McLaughlin, who will probably find a way to 15 touches today.
Tyler, is it Beatty or Body? I don't know. Beatty. Tyler Beatty. But by the way, I mean, like, this is a man who once, gave double-digit carries to Taysom Hill. Don't be surprised if Evan Ingram's lining up in the backfield. Right? Adam Trotman has started doing an end around. Like, I'm just telling you right now, you're not starting anyone other than R.J. Harvey. I'm as a running back 21, so I have him as a low-end RB2. He will get more work. He'll get more work in the passing game, and they've used him when they get in close. But I'm just telling you, if you're suddenly expecting like 20 touches, I don't think that's going to happen. I think you will see McLaughlin and Beatty more than you would like. They are going to be annoying as well. Kevin Shea asks Jay, 12 teams, standard scoring league, flex. Quinshon Judkins, your guy, or R.J. Harvey? Thanks, FFHH.
I don't love it. I don't love the matchup, and I don't love that he's a 7.5-point dog. But Quinshon Judkins, I just know he's going to get all of the workload there. And if anyone on that Browns team is going to score a touchdown, it's likely him.
Yeah.
R.J. Harvey maybe has more upside, but even then, I don't think he really has that much more upside. I'd take Judkins.
I mean, by the way, since week 5, the Chiefs allowed the fewest fantasy points to opposing running backs.
So that's a tough matchup for both of them.
They're both tough matchups, and at least I agree with you. I think it's Judkins because, look, tough matchup for both guys. Obviously, you don't like going against the Ravens, who have improved their run defense recently. They've gotten healthy, and you don't like going up against the Chiefs. But at least with Judkins, you feel secure in the workload. Harvey, we just don't know. We think he's going to get a lot of Dobbins work, but we don't know that. And so, yeah, I think I would rather Judkins too. I agree with you, by the way. If they get close, they'll give it to him. He's got a better shot at a touchdown.
Yeah. By the way,
even though Harvey's been getting like 3 touchdowns on 6 touches in various games.
Yep. Yeah. Todd rhymes with God for a reason. He's just provided the hand warmers, and we are very much back in business here at the link. Matthew, you've been a national Xavier Worthy proponent.
Yes.
Better or worse, he's on your team.
Yes.
Should you start or sit Xavier Worthy? You have to start him because your team's terrible.
I have to start him because my team is.
But for good teams.
Yeah.
What should they do?
Yeah, for the good team, the teams that smartly drafted the good players instead of doing what I did, where I drafted the bad players. If you drafted a team with good players, I would bench him. He's my wide receiver 35. Since Rashee Rice returned, he's the 55th best wide receiver in fantasy football. That is not a typo. He is wide receiver 55 on a points per game basis since Rashee Rice returned. Denver, by the way, allowing the second lowest completion rate on deep passes as well. Just feels like Xavier Worthy's role in this offense is to run deep routes to clear out opportunity for Rashee Rice.
And boy, does he do it.
Yeah, he's great at it. But I mean, it feels like all the stuff is going to Kelsey and Rice in the middle of the field, and they'll, any deep shots, some to Hollywood Brown, some to Xavier Worthy. Now again, they're out of the bye, so maybe Andy Reid's tweaked it a little bit, but don't feel great about him. I'm starting him because I have to, but if you have a better option, and please, Lord, I hope you do, I'd bench him. He's been wide receiver 55 for a long time.
Yep. Let's stay in the Mountain West, hop across the border to Arizona, where the Cardinals are 3.5-point dogs against the Niners, who are getting a host of players back. The total is 48.5. Not expecting a ton of defense in this one, Lawrence. But the big question is, Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall returning to the lineup. Can you start either or both with confidence?
When you talk about that over-under 48.5, we know the Cardinals are going to have to throw on the other side. I would start Brock Purdy
I agree.
You expect rustiness, from a quarterback missing several weeks, but because of the matchup, I like starting Brock Purdy. He's got all his receivers back. And because all the receivers are back, I don't know if I will go. I can't go and have the same confidence in Ricky Pearsall because Jawan Jennings is there, George Kittle is there. So, I would be off on Pearsall on Brock Purdy.
Yeah, we just haven't seen it, right? When Pearsall was playing in the beginning of the year, when he was getting like basically a 20% target share, 80 yards a game or so, Jawan Jennings was banged up. Kittle got hurt early as well. So we just haven't seen this offense as what they're consisted of. See this, but I agree with you on Purdy. He's my QB9. I'm as a QB1 this week. Cardinals have been a bottom 12 pass defense for the year.
Okay, question from Proxy the Element. It's kind of hard to read and say. Full PPR, pick 2, flex. J-Mo, Pearsall, Troy Franklin, or Sean Tucker. Lawrence, who you got here?
Oh, well, I would go here, J-Mo. No Laporta, so that opens up some more for him. And I think I might. I was obviously going to say Troy Franklin or maybe Sean Tucker. It's just that Sean Tucker, he's not getting the double-digit touches. He could probably get it. You have to get a touchdown out of Tucker, but you probably got to get a touchdown out of Franklin too.
Yeah, honestly, for me, I think it's J-Mo and Pearsall again. I know I just talked down Ricky Pearsall, but in this particular instance, like again with Troy Franklin, they're playing Kansas City. Really, really good defense. I like Sean Tucker a lot. He played more snaps than Rachaad White, but just because that game's in Buffalo, I think they lean on the passing game and Rachaad White and the pass protection that White brings. So you're going to need a touchdown from Tucker or Franklin to pay off. But Williams is the clear obvious one. The new offense, Dan Campbell trying to get him in space, trying to do those short crossers, and then Pearsall, Pearsall did have a connection with Purdy early in the season. We just don't know what his role's going to be. So it's Pearsall or Franklin. I just don't love the matchup for Troy Franklin. For me.
When in doubt, perhaps go with the better quarterback. Lawrence, the most decimated wide receiver room in the league, perhaps, is in Arizona. Who do you think steps up with Marvin Harrison on the shelf?
Well, we already know what Trey McBride is going to do. He's going to turn into he's already the number one target. But when you look at the receivers, it'll have to be Michael Wilson, and then it'll have to be Greg Dortch out of the slot there. It'll be those two guys that'll kind of step up, fill the void that Marvin Harrison's left. It's just that, again, when you're talking about these second and third receivers on teams that don't produce multiple, fantasy points out of receivers, you need that touchdown because the volume could be all over the place.
Yep. Okay. Matthew, we have a question from a friend of yours.
Yes. Go ahead and shoot this out here. So this is a question I got sent from Daniel Day Kim.
Oh, wow.
Very famous actor, of course, Y50, most recently on Broadway in a play that he wrote himself, by the way. And he writes, "Hey, gents, I'm in a half-point PPR league and heading for the playoffs at 7-3. I have a chance to get the Anklers ride or die, Amarian Hampton or Trey Benson. Right now, I've got CMC, Quinshawn, and Brian Robinson as my running backs, but no one after that. I'm in trouble for Week 14 with the Niners on a bye. Do I make the deal, Lawrence Jackson?" By the way, he's a regular on the DL, Daniel Day Kim. He's probably our most celebrity, fan. I think our biggest celebrity fan at the moment.
I like it. So Amarian Hampton or Trey Benson.
7-3 though. If you're 7-3, you kind of got some wiggle room there.
Yeah. He's going to make the playoffs. He feels like. I think it's Amarian Hampton because here's the thing: Amarian Hampton and Trey Benson are both hurt. And so the question is and we don't really have a timetable for either one of their return. We know Hampton's not going to come back until after the Chargers bye, but he doesn't need someone right now. He needs someone for the fantasy playoffs. Yeah. We know or at least we feel pretty good about the fact that Amarian Hampton's good when healthy, and we feel pretty good about the Chargers offense. We don't know what this Cardinals offense is going to look like whenever Trey Benson gets back. And we honestly don't know if Trey Benson's any good. We think he could be.
Yeah, he's
shown flashes, but I just feel better about I'd rather go with the running back that I think is the more talented guy on the better offense.
Yep.
I'd be going. So Trey Benson has been in the league a little bit longer than Amarian Hampton. Yep. Amarian Hampton has showed us more already to this point in just those few games that he played.
I mean, Trey Benson's not on the team that drafted him.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. So
I think, at 7-3, you shoot for upside. You shoot for Amari and Hampton, Daniel. Would also love to know what the end of Lost actually meant, if you can get back to us on that one too. All right, let's jump ahead to our game here that'll be played behind us.
Yeah.
Just hours from now. Lions plus 2.5 at the Eagles.
Before we get to that, Lake, I know we're supposed to. I just want to quickly talk about the Cardinals real quickly. Obviously, Trey McBride's going to get a ton, but I do think Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch are sort of interesting wide receiver fours. If you're desperate, I think both those guys are. Wilson's going to be the primary outside guy. Dortch will play the slot. San Francisco struggles against the slot as well. So the human Dortch, Greg Dortch, the human Dortch, and Michael Wilson, I do think are. Again, they're wide receiver fours. They're risky wide receiver fours, but I do think if you're desperate, you could do worse. I am literally starting. I'm desperate. I'm starting Michael Wilson in the same. I mean, I lost Sam Laporta too. Like it's a fire sale over here. Yeah,
it's not ideal.
It's not ideal. It's hashtag
Lawrence,
bad.
In this Sunday Night Football game, who do you have more faith in, A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith?
Well, I got more faith in Devontae Smith because that's who's been better this year. He's wide receiver 13 this year in fantasy points per game. Since week 8, he's been a top 7 wide receiver in fantasy. A.J. Brown, wide receiver 36 this year in fantasy. Devontae Smith, as you said it earlier, Jay Croucher, Heisman Trophy winner. This guy was the 10th overall pick in the draft, like just a couple spots behind Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle. Like, he is one of them dudes, and now he's just showing it. So I gotta go with what we've seen as far as the production on the field. Doesn't mean, you're benching A.J. Brown, but do I have more faith in Devontae Smith? Certainly.
Okay, we've got a question around A.J. Brown, Matthew. Dennis O'Hader. Need a flex, full PPR between A.J. Brown or Woody Marks? What a question to have received before the season.
I'm going to go with Woody Marks here. Now, listen, the Lions play a lot of man coverage. Jalen Hurts is really good against man coverage. A.J. Brown has traditionally done well against man, but it's such a disaster there. I'm nervous about A.J. Brown. I feel like there's a floor with Woody Marks, and I think you could there's a better floor with Woody Marks than there necessarily is with A.J. Brown based on what we've seen most recently, and both of them have big upside. Yep. I mean, again, they could just blow out the Titans in this one.
No, I agree. So, Lions side of the ball, Matthew, usually a fairly easy offense to understand fantasy-wise. You're obviously starting Gibbs, you're starting St. Brown. You were starting Laporta before he went on IR.
Yep.
But Jameson Williams is the big question each week. He's starting or sitting him after one of his strongest games of the season against the Commanders.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's a... Stop me if you've heard this before, but he's a boom-bust wide receiver 3. So it's a little bit of what else do you have and how lucky do you feel? And, do you need to swing for the fences? If you played against Travion Henderson on Thursday, you might need to swing for the fences here as well. He's had at least 16 fantasy points in 3 of the last 4 games, 18% target share. Dan Campbell made a point when taking over the play calling duties saying, we've got to get Jameson Williams involved. And so it's not just deep routes anymore. They're running him, some like crossers and screens and just trying to get the ball in his hands in space. And so Jameson Williams to me is the upside play here if you need to sort of swing for the fences.
Okay, let's jump ahead.
But a lower floor, obviously.
Let's jump ahead to shot for shot. We don't have shots here, so maybe we'll drink from our hand warmers. Yeah. Matthew, kicks off.
Yeah, shot number 1, Jaylen Warren finishes as a top 10 fantasy running back. Cincinnati has given up 16.9 fantasy points to every single game. They've given up that many to an opposing running back. If you're telling me a running back for the Steelers gets 16.9 fantasy points, I'm telling you it's Jaylen Warren. He's a top 10 fantasy running back today. Easy peasy.
Okay. The Houston Texans, they did the right thing by me and Matthew last week, the heroic victory against the Jags. And as I toasted my hand warmer, I say they cover -5.5 in Tennessee against Cam Ward. He's off the bye. Maybe the Titans look a little bit better, but they have a long way to go. I think this Texans defense will define this game. So Davis Mills was fine. He was fine against the Jags. Not great.
He was in comeback mode.
Yeah, he did enough. He led them back from 17 down
or
whatever. So I think the Texans, they cover -5.5. Lawrence, what do you got?
Yeah, kind of like a Texas A&M Aggie.
As I hold down my windy Philly papers right here, I got James Cook finishing as a top 3 running back in fantasy today. Tampa Bay gives us the 9th most fantasy points per game to running back. Look, they've allowed 135 rushing yards in 2 touchdowns in 2 of their last 3 games to a running back, and they've given up a score to a running back in 5 of their last 6 games. I think James Cook's get back on track this week.
Okay, I like it. Okay, Matthew, what do you got for us?
All right. Trey McBride, over 7.5 receptions at plus money, Lawrence Jackson. Look,
yes.
He's had at least 8 receptions in 3 of his 4 games with Jacoby Brissett as the starter, and so I don't get it either, but over 7.5 receptions for Trey McBride is at plus money. I think he gets a monster target share here with Marvin Harrison Jr. down, and it's not like Jacoby's going to run. So, yep, that's my second shot. Trey McBride over 7.5 receptions. That cashes.
Incredible play in the end zone by Marcus Mariota to throw the ball away.
Insane.
My next one, staying in the state of Texas, the Dallas Cowboys.
Really?
Yeah, minus 3.5 against the Raiders. Not sure if anyone watched the Las Vegas Raiders last week against the Broncos. They're not very good. Their offensive line is even more decimated now. So I say the Cowboys with Quinnen Williams, one of the most valuable run defenders in the league, in town. I say they cover minus 3.5.
Yeah. We dig it. I'm going to go. I got a little plus money for you right here, Matthew Berry. Chiefs win at Denver with an outline of 6.5, minus 6.5. I'm taking Chiefs minus 6.5. Denver, they got 7 straight wins. That is to be applauded. But 6 of those are against teams with losing records. Between the Jets, Giants, Texans, and Raiders, they have a total win margin of only 9 points. Now, you go against Kansas City, 6th-ranked defense, 7th-ranked offense led by, of course, Patrick Mahomes. I think Chiefs get it done in a convincing fashion today.
I like that one.
Okay, Matthew.
All right, last one here. 18 fantasy points or more for comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco.
Right.
Come on. He's had multiple touchdown passes in all 4 starts with Cincinnati since he became the starter of the Bengals. He's a top 2 fantasy quarterback on a points per game basis. It's another nice matchup. We saw what he did against the Steelers the last time they played. I think he does it again today. Should be a fun game, that one. But Joe Flacco, 18 fantasy points at a minimum today.
Okay, sweep the leg, TJ Watt. Show no mercy on Joe Flacco. You can have your Joe Flacco, Matthew. I'll take my Patrick Mahomes.
You realize that if he does that, if TJ Watt does in fact injure Joe Flacco, next year he could in fact once again
win
comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
So just so
Joe
you know,
Flacco and Joe Burrow are just going to alternate this award for the rest of the time.
Yeah, that's right. You just put that into the universe. I'm just letting you know.
A guy who competes for MVPs, not comeback player of the year, is Patrick Mahomes. So he goes over 24.5 rushing yards against the Broncos. Mahomes is scrambling a ton this year. We know that he scrambles a lot in the playoffs in games that the Chiefs absolutely have to have. They absolutely have to have this game. If they lose this game, they could very well miss the playoffs. Denver's pass rush will likely have him on the move, so I think Mahomes goes for at least 25 rushing yards.
I like it.
All right. I'm going to take it here, right here on this field behind us tonight, Sunday Night Football. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts throws for at least 2 touchdown passes. You see it there at minus 112. It was at plus 102. That's obviously why I took it, but they know it's going to happen. He's thrown for at least 3 touchdown passes in 2 of his last 3 games. Detroit has allowed multiple touchdown passes in 2 straight games. They're injured all over their defensive backfield, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to be able to cash in on those on doing that.
Yep, like it. Very favorable matchup. We have a comment from patron saint Jonathan Medici. Lawrence is squeezing those hand warmers tighter than Derrick Henry after his early fumbles this season.
Hey,
accurate comment, Jonathan Medici. Surging up
as
the power
I just
rankings.
loosened up my grip right now, but I got 2 on the mic right here, and then I got 2 in the left hand. I'm ready to go.
Shameful display from all 3 of us, really, at the desk. All right, we're going to hit our first break. When we come back, we'll react to inactives off of the early slate. Keep on hitting us with your questions. Hashtag FF Pregame. Coming back to you after this from the link. Okay, we are back from the link. Adam Schefter tweeting that Bills wide receiver Keon Coleman is inactive today because he missed a team meeting Friday morning. The Bills had planned to play him, but their plans changed when he missed the meeting. Interesting caveat at the end there. Makes me think that maybe the Bills weren't necessarily planning to play. But in any case, Keon Coleman's not going to be out there. Matthew, I don't think this changes a ton for the outlook of Bills wide receivers, given that Keon Coleman wasn't having a huge impact. But guys like Khalil Shakir perhaps got a minor bump off of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think Shakir is the wide receiver you want the most, A, because he normally is, and B, because Dalton Kincaid is also banged up. So just, having that, the middle of the field available to you, I think is sort of interesting. I think the rest of them, I don't know that like Josh Allen will throw to somebody. He'll have a good game, but it's just all sort of piecemeal.
Yep.
I could see streaming Dawson Knox as a streamer if you're desperate at tight end, but I don't want any Josh Palmer, any of these other guys.
No. Okay, well, one guy you do want is Drake London, who will be active off of that German-based illness and the back injury. He will be good to go against the Panthers. Brian Thomas will not be expected back soon, but inactive today against the Chargers. On the other side, Quentin Johnston, he will play, as will Calvin Ridley, and as will Matthew Golden. Later on, Devontae Adams, Bam Knight, still naturally questionable, but both are expected to go. We have a viewer question. There's Ryan. PH30 says, pick one for Guillotine.
Yes, we love that.
You need safe points.
Yes,
Quentin Johnston.
GuillotineLeagues.com.
Khalil Shakir, Romeo Dobbs, or Woody Marks. Hashtag FF pregame, hashtag ankles out at the link.
So, I mean, I think Shakir or Woody Marks are probably the safest. You could certainly see a scenario where Browns get down bad and suddenly they have to abandon the run. And Dobbs, it's like, such a crazy... the Packers offense, they just spread it around so much. So I think in terms of safe, I think it's, and I don't know if that's Quentin Johnston or, so that's QJ. Okay,
yeah,
so that's not not Quinshon Judkins. Okay, sorry.
No,
so I think
he's got a different
Shakir,
name. Yeah.
Shakir is the answer. I think he's the safest guy.
I might go Woody Marks. Who you got, Lawrence?
Yeah, Shakir or Woody Marks?
It would be, I would go Khalil Shakir.
Okay. You guys can take Khalil Shakir.
The only reason I wouldn't do Woody
RB1.
Marks is just because they might kill him and be up big and just not need to run that much. Or they might try to give Nick Chubb some run. The other thing is that, this happened a few weeks ago where Woody Marks had a big game where it's Woody Marks' backfield. But then Nick Chubb keeps getting work.
Been okay this year.
Yeah.
Sneakily, I believe we have some more questions to roll through us. The hand warmers are starting to lose their heat. Lawrence Jackson on life support here. Strictly Sports, PPR Flex, need one. Aaron Jones, Jawan Jennings, or J-Mo, Lawrence. Who you got here?
Man.
Good mix.
Yeah.
Who the Vikings playing?
Bears.
The Bears.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Aaron Jones for me too, I think. Just crowded pass catcher room suddenly in San Francisco with Pearsall back. J-Mo I don't really want a part of. I think it's Jennings or Jones.
And I mean, I think the answer is Jones here as well. Again, sort of guaranteed touches. He kind of was clearly the starting running back, and Jordan Mason was clearly like sort of the backup change of pace guy last week. It's a good matchup against the Bears. I don't think they're a great run defense as well. We've talked about it. 47.5 is the over-under in this. We expect points to be scored. Jawan Jennings would be my next choice. It's a little dicey just because, again, we don't know what this offense looks like with all the pieces together. So it's a little bit of a leap of faith there.
Okay, another question for you, Matthew, on Jawan Jennings from Taylor. I'm in a PPR league and I have a flex decision to make between Kamani Vidal and Jawan Jennings. Who do you start?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm just going with the guaranteed touches. Kamani Vidal against Jacksonville. We've talked about that run defense or lack thereof quite a bit this week. So Kamani Vidal is my choice here.
Okay, I like it.
He's getting a lot of work.
Let's jump ahead to top waiver ads as wind gusts
it's unbelievable.
crushing us at the link. But we'll push on to the top running back waiver ads.
If this keeps up, take the under on the kickers.
Yeah, take the under on Matthew Berry's resilience as well as the wind storms in. Amari DiMercado, running back 27 against the Niners. Sean Tucker, Tajay Spears, recurring feature of this segment. Tyler Algier and Blake Corum. Who do you like the most out of these guys, Lawrence?
I think Tajay Spears is interesting here because I'm with you guys on thinking that the Texans are going to just roll these boys, and we know what happens when the Titans getting blown out, which is a lot. Tajay Spears going to play more snaps. He's going to be using the passing game. So I think that's like a sneaky little nice PPR play.
Yep, I like it. All right,
yeah.
Let's move ahead to the top wide receivers available in over 50% of leagues. Trey Tucker, who's apparently wide receiver 1 in the NFL.
Yeah. And playing Dallas this weekend.
Yeah, favorable matchup against the Cowboys corners, so the Cowboys pass rush looking a bit better. Matthew's best friend, Parker Washington, headlines this list. And then we have a couple of Cardinals and Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch, and then the immortal Tez dispenser, Tez Johnson, against the Bills secondary got torched.
I mean, Cowboys allowed the second most fantasy points per game to opposing wide receivers, so there's Trey Tucker. Parker Washington is averaging 15 points per game over his last 3 with a 25% target share. You already heard Brian Thomas Jr. is out once again. We talked about Wilson and Dortch. I like them in that order, but I do think Dortch is kind of interesting here as well. And then finally, whoa, goodness gracious, good Lord. We're like, it's like suddenly I'm Dorothy, and I'm getting blown to the Wizard of Oz here as well. Like
you're already kind of like Dorothy.
A little bit. Where are the flying monkeys? We need some flying monkeys in here. Those were the best part of the Wizard of Oz, let's be clear. And finally, Tez Johnson playing Buffalo. Since week 6, he's wide receiver 20 on a points per game basis. It's very touchdown dependent, but there should be a lot of points scored on the road at Buffalo. It is a little windy there, like it is here.
It is windy here.
So, anyway, but Tez Johnson is out there in more than 50% of leagues.
Matthew Roble on YouTube for a flex. Pick one: Dobbs, Tez, or DeMarcado. Lawrence, who you got?
Maybe DeMarcado.
For you, I'm going to go Romeo Dobbs, just against the Giants here. It's between Dobbs or DeMarcado. I will say that. We've talked about this a little bit. Lawrence, on 22 touches over the last 2 games for Amari DeMarcado. He has 182 yards from scrimmage in those 2 games. But, Dobbs is the red zone threat. I'm not worried about this Giants defense at all. So I think Dobbs has the best chance at a touchdown. So I'm going to say Dobbs just barely over DeMarcado.
Yep. Okay, one more question for us to hit. Ryan McGlynn is a regular.
Ryan's a regular.
Yeah, he woke up with serious sexual frustration with the playoffs on the line. I misread it because the word before started with S. With the playoffs on the line, Woody Marks or Parker Washington, Matthew, full PPR? Yeah,
I get the question, but I'm going to go with Woody Marks here again. We sort of talk about this matchup here, the explosiveness on the road at Tennessee. Davis Mills under center. They may want to read on the run game a little bit more. Marks got huge usage last week. Now, it is worth noting, the Texans were down for much of that game, so in a game in which they should be leading the Titans a lot, does he continue to get the workload, or is there more Nick Chubb? That's the only concern here on that one. But again, Marks has the better chance at a touchdown. And by the way, the Chargers are aware of Parker Washington now, right? I mean, they're going to go down there and they'll check it out. I mean, things are blowing up. My pen just literally blew off.
Usually,
we have like little. Everything's blowing.
Yeah, you're usually the one throwing away your pen.
Yes, exactly.
The gods are doing it for you. I do think
I'm usually the source of all the hot wind on set, but in this case, it is not me.
Yeah, it's not hot.
It is. It is cold wind, and it is being blown by Mother Nature.
Yes. One thing that pushes back against Woody Marks' optimism is that Jeffrey Simmons is back for the Titans, and the Titans' defense with Jeffrey Simmons is a completely different animal. Let's jump to quarterbacks.
But the argument there would be is wanting to avoid, right? Is wanting to avoid Jeffrey Simmons. So you're trying to get him in space and like just a bunch of dump offs and
yeah, potentially. All right, quarterbacks and tight ends to stream. Jacoby Brissett, who's filled in admirably for Kyler Murray. Aaron Rodgers, the wheels are coming off a little bit there. Davis Mills and Dalton Schultz both facing the Titans in that favorable matchup. Matthew's man Harold Fenton Jr. gets the Ravens, then Colson Loveland against the Vikings. Who are these guys is most compelling to you, Lawrence?
Hell, it's got to be Aaron Rodgers. Anytime you can get a quarterback going up against this Bengals defense, we saw what Caleb Williams just did to them. Hell, we saw what Justin Fields did to them 2 weeks ago. Just put up 39 points against them. So anytime you get any quarterback or running back receiver going against this Bengals defense, you definitely want to have at it.
We've talked about Dalton Schultz, the new Hunter Henry, on this show quite a bit, but since week 7, he's the 6th best tight end in fantasy on a points-per-game basis. Obviously has a connection with Davis Mills as well. Harold Fenton has a 22% target share over the past 4 games, and so, again, he's kind of a good fit for what Dylan Gabriel likes to do as well. Jacoby Brissett has yet to finish outside the top 12 among fantasy quarterbacks in games in which he's started for the Cardinals this year.
Okay, let's jump ahead to some desperation plays. Matthew, no surprise, one of your favorites, the Human Dortch.
Yeah, he's available in over 80% of fantasy leagues. We've talked about this, but San Francisco is giving up the 3rd most yards per game to opposing slot receivers. So Human Dortch, Greg Dortch, I think is potentially useful today.
Yep. I've gone with Calvin Austin, who in a Steelers passing game where DK Metcalf is just so rarely featured, Calvin Austin has scope to get a bit more involved. He's Matthew's wide receiver 44. Again, if you're desperate and looking for a guy who can perhaps give you 9-10 points as your final flex, I think he is viable. And Lawrence, you've got Sean Tucker.
Yeah, I got Sean Tucker here, and it's a desperation play because he's been playing less than 35% of the snaps the past few games, but Buffalo has a 3rd worst rushing defense in the NFL. They're tied for most rushing touchdowns allowed to running backs, and Sean Tucker himself, I think the Bucs really like him. He's had double-digit touches in 2 straight games, so we'll go with Sean Tucker for the desperation play.
Okay.
Meanwhile, by the way, for the Dolphins, not Devon Achane scored.
Yeah.
As I like to refer to Ali
Gordon.
Yeah,
Yes.
unbelievable. All right, we're going to go to Proper Shop now. This is going to be very interesting.
I'm nervous my water is going to spill here.
Don't be nervous.
Especially if it ain't filled up.
We have footballs. What's going on here with the footballs?
We got
a football to.
Down here?
We got them underneath the
They
table.
was.
There you go. We got one in there, Matthew.
I thought is it
Oh, look at this. All right, here we go.
Is it 2 under there?
Yeah.
It's like we
Where are
got
we
2
throwing
footballs.
from?
All right, we just gonna have to.
Here, make it a
throw
little
from there.
easier.
Yeah, sure. Little kid throw.
No, this is
Mine
still
gonna be
like
closer
it's
to that.
windy.
Jalen Hurts and
this
Jared
is gonna
Goff
be
will be
like-
affected by the wind. Will Matthew Barry?
I am.
This is troubling. Oh, no.
Yeah, it is
Oh.
affected the wind. Did you see that?
Oh,
It took it.
Yeah, that was purely the wind.
It was.
I was wondering if we might have to reach into the bin to pull out one of the balls, but no worry. One of us will miss. All
All
right.
right. Jay Croucher up.
Yeah.
Not great.
Come on.
All right, Lawrence.
I'm gonna go up a yard here. Still a little limited. And we got it, baby. We got it.
It's like, you know what that is?
Underhanded.
That's like, you ever watch you ever watch, they do the Dr.
Underarm
Pepper.
free throw?
Yeah, they like
That's
Right.
That's Patrick Mahomes type stuff right there.
yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, let's go back to the desk. That was not great.
It did take it, I swear to God. Did you
Barry
see that?
just shot another
I swear
air
to
ball.
God. The wind, it is wind. I swear, like I literally, it was online and the wind just blew it.
It was online.
You guys see that?
I promise. No, I wasn't watching, thankfully.
Oh, God.
All right. Let's never speak of that again. Let's jump to Proper Shot, presented by
yes,
DraftKings Sportsbook. If they still want to have association with our segment after that performance.
It was not good.
Matthew, Jameis Winston,
Yeah.
passing yards, 225, 222 and a half.
That is really okay.
Oh, no, sorry.
that's
for
for-
you.
that's for Lawrence.
I'm gonna go under on that. Look, one quarterback has hit this number versus Green Bay in their last 5 games. Jameis Winston wants to throw it deep. Who's his deep threat? Darius Slayton not playing. And the over-under is only 41.5. I'm going under.
Okay, Matthew. Yours is Emeka Egbuka. His receptions only at 4.5.
Yeah, it's 4.5. But by the way, he's been under this number in 6 of 9 games this season. It's gonna be windy in Buffalo. Buffalo secondary getting healthier. I'm gonna take the under on 4.5 receptions for Emeka Egbuka.
Okay, interesting. Jalen Warren, his scrimmage yards prop. 104.5, which is usually reserved for the Jonathan Taylors and Christian McCaffreys of the world. I understand it's the Bengals rush defense. I'm going to go under here. That's just a ton of yards, particularly when Kenneth Gainwell might get involved too. Lawrence Travis Etienne, he is set at 61.5 rushing yards against the Chargers.
You know, I'm going to go over here because he's still getting those. He's got 15-plus carries in each of his last 2 games. You know, he just hit this number. So as long as he's still getting in that 15, 16 carry range, I feel confident he could do that here against the Chargers.
Okay. Tirico and McMillan, Matthew.
That's
Saquon Barkley might be getting into the end zone, and Lawrence's papers are as well to start us off.
Is that Lawrence's papers?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Lawrence's papers.
Well, they belong to the link now. Because look at them. Oh, my God. I mean, they're on the Lions sideline.
Right. Run free.
Wow.
Run free.
That it reminds me of the plastic bag scene in American Beauty.
Yeah,
a
little bit.
As we watch the papers make their way. Lawrence's proper shot sheet. Okay, Tirico McMillan, Matthew, 56.5 receiving yards.
I'm going under this number. He's been under this number in 3 of the past 4 games with Bryce Young. He's caught under 60% of his targets from Young this season. They can't seem to get on the same page. So give me under 56.5. Receiving yards for Tirico McMillan. I think it's a big Rico Dowdle game today.
Okay, Matthew Stafford completions, 24.5. I'm going to take the over because I don't think that the Rams will be able to run the ball against Seattle's awesome rush defense. I'm not sure if Stafford's going to have a huge day, but I do think that the Rams will pass the ball. There'll be a lot of short completions, a lot of Puka Nacua in this game. Stafford goes over. Derrick Henry. Rushing yards set at 73.5, which would have been unheard of last year as a 7.5-point favorite, but he gets the Browns' brutal rushing defense.
That's went down a little bit too, but I'm still going to go over because he's had at least 20 carries in 3 of his last 4 games. The time he did it, he had 19. He's hit this in 2 straight games. I think the Ravens got a chance to get more than the 7.5 that they're getting, and in that case they'll be running Henry. I think he goes over.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Brock Purdy in his return game, Matthew, set at 254.5 passing yards.
Yeah, once again I'm going under. I don't normally take unders, but I'm going 3 unders in a row here. Last 4 quarterbacks to face the Cardinals have been under this number, and 6 of 9 this season. The Cardinals have a sneaky good secondary. They allow the 8th fewest passing yards per pass attempt. 8th fewest yards per pass attempt this season as well. So Purdy goes under 254.5. I think Christian McCaffrey gets a big workload today. They ease Brock Purdy back into it. Give me the under 254.5.
Okay, Travis Kelce receptions only set at 3.5, which is a little low to me. He's gone over in 7 of 8 games this year. Tough Denver defense, but I don't think the Chiefs will be able to run the ball with much success, and this will be on Patrick Mahomes' arm, and Kelce will get at least 4 receptions. Lawrence, Sam Darnold passing attempts is set at 30.5.
Jay, you said it earlier. You expect the Rams to be throwing that football. Well, I expect that too.
Someone get Lawrence a paperweight or something. What are you doing here?
This one I don't need anyway anymore. But look, if you're Sam Darnold, how are you going to keep up with this Rams offense? I expect them to go over. The over-under in this game is 48.5. Yeah, give me the over.
Okay, Saquon Barkley will be running behind us after Lawrence's papers later this evening. His rushing attempts, only 16.5, which is about as low as it's been for him as a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yeah, he's been over this number in 6 of 9 games this season, including 2 of the last 3. So I'm going to take the over here. I think it's going to be close because I do think they'll want to pass a lot. But you know, when they start having success passing, that opens up the running lanes for Saquon Barkley. So give me the over. This is an important game for the Eagles. I think they bring out all the stops. I think Saquon doesn't come off the field. Give me the over on 16.5 rush attempts for Saquon.
Okay, Amon-Ra St. Brown, longest reception, 23.5. I'm going to take the under, 1, because I'm witnessing the wind that he will be dealing with. And then secondly, I think this Eagles defense, by year end, might have a case for being the best in the league. I think they looked completely rejuvenated against the Packers. Vic Fangio, one of the best DCs in the league. And I think that Jalen Phillips adding to that pass rush has made life a lot easier on those corners. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code FFHH when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook.
That crown is yours.
The crown is yours. Okay, before we hit break, a couple questions. coming up for us. The bid podcast need a flex full PPR. Gadsden, T-Mac, Sutton, or Rashad White, Lawrence?
I will go Rashad White here. I just talked about the Bills' run defense earlier. Rashad White will be the lead man in that backfield to take advantage of that, so give me him.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Gadsden would actually be my second choice here.
Yep.
Sutton has sort of taken a, has fallen off recently. He's been very inconsistent.
Yep. No, I think that was reasonable. Gadsden, who was under a bit of injury cloud, he seems fine and ready to go. Another question from Eddie Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Is that your real name? Flex Nico Collins or Kyron Williams, Matthew?
I'm going to go with Kyron Williams. Just it's Davis. It's, better chance at a touchdown. It's Davis Mills. We don't know. Again, it's a great matchup. So I don't know. By the way, how is that your flex decision, Eddie?
Yeah.
Nico Collins and Kyron Williams is your flex
That
decision.
man is blessed.
He's got two running. He's got two wide receivers better than Nico Collins. He's got two running backs better than Kyron Williams. Yeah. Come on, Eddie Spaghetti. By the way, I don't think that's your God-given name. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. No,
I think Eddie Spaghetti is putting us on.
Yeah.
But
what if it is?
If it is a real question, I think Kyron Williams. I get the matchup with Seattle, but I just.
Oh man.
So the water takes out.
Try it off with the jacket real quick.
Good Lord.
Unbelievable. Good luck to the players tonight in this game.
This is brutal.
It's all happening. All right, we're going to hit another break. When we come back, we'll get into rankings as we see the wind and the water and all the nature.
Full. The cup was full, too. The wind just knocked over a full cup of water.
All right, we're back after the break. Aloha Bricks, backup Pete out here controlling the wind. Backup Pete gets his revenge.
Try.
this game was must win. You agree?
I think every week for us is must win. This is a good opponent. Arguably maybe the best opponent we played all year. I've never played in Philly, so I'm excited to play there. It'll be my first time. I've heard a lot about it, so hostile environment. But I think it's going to be great for us. It's going to be fun. I can't wait.
Tonight at Monroe St. Brown, we'll learn a little bit more about the city of brotherly love as we're all learning about its nature at the moment. Watch two NFC champion contenders to battle right here at the Link. Football Night in America will lead you up to kickoff at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we kick on with FF Pregame. Hit us with your questions. Hashtag FF Pregame and on YouTube. Let's jump into the noon blues. Who is driving you to drink, Matthew, outside of Mother Nature?
Yeah, it's J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Forget fantasy football. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. He's averaging 12 points per game. He can't back-to-back games with under 50 receiving yards for Justin Jefferson. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, J.J. McCarthy, like, is he good? We're not convinced. We don't know.
Nice.
And he's just, this is an offense that we had so much excitement about coming into the season. Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor, T.J. Hawkinson, the running backs. And it's just all not good. So he is driving me to drink, although my drink is now all over the desk and on Lincoln Financial Field here. So
yeah, J.J. McCarthy. It's still early. It's still early, and who knows what he may eventually become. But for
look
now,
at this. He's catching it with one hand. He needs to make catches like this is the reason he's practicing, because he's like, that's about where JJ's going to put it.
His quarterback leads the NFL in off-target throw rate.
He knows to throw him the ball. He's been getting them the targets.
Yeah, just not anywhere close. But you just heard Jay. McCarthy leads the NFL in off-target throw.
Okay, Lawrence, who are you drinking for?
For me, it's going to be Zonovan Bam Knight. I think we got to call him Zonovan until he earns.
Bam Knight drives you to drink. When you're lying in bed, you're like, oh, God.
Yeah, it is. You know why? Because since becoming the starter, he got 13 touches for 48 scrimmage yards per game.
Yeah.
Touches, not carries. 0 touchdowns since he's become a starter. And now you're in a game with an over-under of 48.5. You would think this is Bam Knight time into the end zone, but I don't know about that, man.
It's Bam O'Clock.
Has it ever been Bam Night time?
No,
yeah,
when
he was a backup, he was scoring touchdowns.
That's not a distinction on the clock face. Bam Night time. That doesn't exist. Why? What? Lawrence looks like Aaron Rodgers under pressure.
Yeah, a little bit.
He is melting. Yeah. Oh, they don't have this wind back home.
No, absolutely not. I've never seen my papers run from Philly to Pittsburgh in 2 seconds.
Dude, I had a full solo cup of water. I literally, we had a graphic up, and I poured it full of water to make sure that it was heavy enough to not get blown over.
Little did you know.
Poured it full of a brick.
You were just weaponizing the tools of your destruction.
Yes, that's exactly what I was doing.
Okay, I'm drinking.
If anyone texts me today, just know it's my water. It's waterlogged. I got to go find rice.
Yeah, unbelievable. Speaking of Georgia, I'm drinking for Zach Robinson, Lawrence.
Sure.
Oh, man, offensive coordinator of the Falcons. I think right now there is the biggest divide between how well coached their defense and offense is in Atlanta. Right. So I think that defense is flying around and doing what it can with its personnel. They gave Daniel Jones a ton of issues. They gave Drake May a ton of issues the week before. But this offense, there's no creativity, just constantly hitting the pistol. Like they cannot find ways to get anyone open outside of Drake May. I don't understand still entirely the Bijan Robinson usage when he is one of the 2 or 3 most talented running backs in the NFL. So fantasy-wise, I mean, it makes things kind of simple. Just start Drake London and Bijan and no one else. But this offense has too much talent for it to be struggling the way that it is. So drinking for Zach Robinson. So we have a question from Adam Clayton. Dylan Gabriel or T. Higgins? 2-quarterback league, but should I play Higgins instead? Help, Matthew.
T. Higgins.
Help the man.
I think, Adam, I get the question, and I think you're right. As crazy as it is to bench a quarterback in a 2-quarterback league, T. Higgins in a great matchup versus Dylan Gabriel, who hasn't been great against Baltimore. I actually think, assuming it's PPR scoring, I would go Higgins.
And Dylan Gabriel threw for 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
No picks, but it was like, if you watch the game, you would know why this is the question right here.
Indeed.
Correct.
Okay, let's get to...
And Baltimore, this is a big game for Baltimore. This is a division game. This is a gotta-have-it game for the Ravens.
Every game's a big game for Baltimore at this point. Yeah. Let's jump to quarterback rankings, where Dylan Gabriel is conspicuously absent from 1 through 10. We'll have to keep scrolling to see Dylan Gabriel's name.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is QB1. Justin Herbert, Matthew, comes in at quarterback 5. It's been a bit of an inconsistent year. I don't think it's his fault because he's missing both of his star tackles. But he's been under pressure a lot. May not be under pressure against the Jags defense that's really struggling to create a pass rush.
Yeah, since week 5, no team allows more fantasy points per game to opposing running backs than the Jacksonville Jaguars. Opposing quarterbacks, I should say. Than the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so for the past 5 quarterbacks to face Jacksonville have scored at least 26 fantasy points. That includes a list that has Davis Mills and Geno Smith on it. So, yes, Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback for me. I think he has a big game today.
Yep, I like it. Okay, Lawrence, Dak Prescott. Shine's come a little bit off Dak recently. He started off the season incredibly well. Would have been an MVP candidate if the team was winning more games. But a couple rough weeks lately, though, he gets the elixir of the Raiders defense.
Yeah, look, weeks 4 through 7, he was averaging 270 pass yards per game, 13 total touchdown passes, 0 picks. But his last 2 games, 1 touchdown pass, 3 interceptions. Now, he's going up against the Raiders, got a great chance to bounce back. I think he does. Las Vegas Raiders have allowed quarterbacks to score multiple touchdowns in 2 out of their last 3 games. So I think Dak Prescott, Cowboys offense, bounce back.
Yep. Okay, I like it. Let's keep on rolling through to quarterbacks 11 through 20. Matthew, a guy who really struggled last week against the Chargers. Aaron Rodgers, who was looking his age a little bit.
A little bit, but this week he gets Cincinnati. Lawrence referenced this earlier in the show. And, when you face Cincinnati, good things happen. No team allows touchdown passes at a higher rate than the Cincinnati Bengals. 5 of the last 6 quarterbacks to face Cincy have scored at least 20 fantasy points, and that includes Aaron Rodgers in Week 7. He's my number 14 quarterback today.
Yep. Didn't have it on my bingo card that Davis Mills at some point would be ranked higher than Bo Nix,
right?
And Jared Goff and Jordan Love and even Tua.
Yeah.
But that's where we are. Davis Mills, not an amazing game last week against the Jags, but he's shown he can get
fantasy relevant.
Yeah, he can get the ball to Nico Collins, and against the Titans secondary that is weak to say the least, and gives up the most explosive plays in the NFL through the air, along with your Commanders. I think Davis Mills is viable in 2 quarterback leagues. So we have a question as the Dolphins keep marching on. Davis from Rowe. Davis Mills against the Titans or Baker against Buffalo's team and the weather in Buffalo? I think it's still got to be Baker Mayfield, Matthew.
I agree with you. I was just asking, Jay, how much does the weather affect the line and the expectations of a game outcome?
Yeah, well, as we're kind of feeling right now in real time, it's always more about wind than it is about rain or snow, because wind, as you saw with our throws that were affected in proper shot, which would have found pay dirt if not for the winds.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about mine, but the 2 balls that I threw both literally moved in the wind.
But see, that's why sometimes, guys, you have to improvise the throw and go underhand.
That was clever.
To hit your target.
From 10 steps closer. Got it.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like but no, wind affects passing games more than anything else.
You're like those kids, you're like the kids in the Dr. Pepper halftime.
That 1 yard was not going to change my accuracy.
Yeah, okay.
Unbelievable. No, I liked it. Sometimes people should shoot free throws underarm. My fellow Australian Ben Simmons in Philadelphia, maybe he should have done that at a time, but he did not.
A lot of things Ben should have done.
Yeah, he should have done that. Yeah, well, he got paid and he's doing all right. Yeah. Let's jump ahead to running backs. So we take a look at running backs 1 through 10, familiar names at the top. Christian McCaffrey, Devin Achane in this game, who got vultured in the end zone. This game's going well for your Commanders, Matthew. They're playing hard and they're probably going to lose, which is exactly what you want.
That is, there you go. It's not our season.
No.
So you know what? Let's get a better draft pick.
Yep.
We got to stop, but we muffed a punt and Dolphins ball, tie game, 4:11 left. Yep. In the game.
Incredible scenes with Rico Dowdle being ranked ahead of Saquon Barkley, but justified in where we are given Rico's matchup against the Falcons defense. Let's run through to 11 through 20, headlined by Javonte Williams with that favorable matchup against the Raiders. Just after him, Matthew, is Chase Brown, who's shown signs of life with Joe Flacco.
Yeah, he has been. Since Flacco became the starter, comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco, by the way, he's had 3 straight games with 100 yards or more from scrimmage. He's the 11th best running back in fantasy. He's playing 95% of the snaps. He's handling 100% of the running back touches. Samaje Perine banged up, so Chase Brown should get another heavy workload against this Steelers run defense. He's a top 12 running back for me today.
Yep. Lawrence, how about Kyron Williams with a brutal matchup against the Seahawks?
It is brutal, but this Rams offense is not, and I expect them to be near that goal line at some point. Kyron Williams has scored a touchdown in 3 out of his last 4 games. Even with Blake Corum getting touches, Kyron Williams still at least 14 touches in that same span. And the most important thing, he's 5th in the NFL in carries inside the 5-yard line, so we know they prefer him when they get close to the end zone.
Indeed. All right, we've got a question here from Mario Dominguez. Do I start Joe Flacco or Sam Darnold? And do I flex Drake London or Chase Brown? Who are these guys? How do these guys have these as flex decisions? I think you're flexing Drake London.
Yes.
Oh, Sam Darnold, Joe Flacco. Matthew, who you got there?
I'm going to go with Joe Flacco.
Unbelievable.
Believe it or not. I mean, listen, the Rams, I think the Rams play them tough in this one. I get the question. Joe Flacco's the second best quarterback in fantasy on a points-per-game basis over the last 4 games.
When the Bengals played the Steelers a couple weeks ago, that was a shootout.
Yeah, it was. Now, watch that being like a really low-scoring game now.
Exactly.
That's exactly what's going to happen. But as everything just flying all over, literally like a light just fell down in the back. It's unbelievable what's going on here. But yeah, I'm going to say Joe Flacco. It's close. It's close, but I think that Rams game potentially is also tougher than. I know the line is 4 to 8.5. I would take the under there. It's 2 really good defenses in a game that's really important to both teams.
I agree. 2 great defensive coordinators as well. Let's go to running backs 21 through 30. Headlined by a guy who I think is going to give a lot of people heartache this week, Matthew, and that's R.J. Harvey, who will be filling in as the starter for J.K. Dobbins, but tough matchup, and we just don't know with any certainty what the workload will be.
That's the point, right? It just, we know Sean Payton. The one thing, we don't know what the workload is going to be. The one thing we do know is that Sean Payton likes to use multiple running backs, always has, always will. And so you'll see some Jaleel McLaughlin, you'll see some Tyler Beatty. They'll probably do some more designed run stuff with Bo Nix. Do I think when we look at the box score tomorrow that R.J. Harvey has the most touches of any Denver running back? Of course I do. Do I think he suddenly inherits all of the 16 touches a game that J.K. Dobbins was averaging? I do not. And so I have Harvey as running back 21, a low-end RB2. I think which is higher than he's ever been for me this season, but still not without some risk. It's also worth noting that we talked about this early in the show, but the Chiefs, since week 5, allow the fewest fantasy points per game to opposing running backs. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for the Broncos. They know they're not facing Dobbins. So Harvey, I think, will be one of the focal points for Steve Spagnuolo's defense.
Yep. Question from Coffee Shop on YouTube. Start 1 full PPR, Harvey, Hunt, Tucker, or Dortch. Lawrence, who do you like out of this group?
Tucker.
Trey Tucker.
Trey Tucker.
Oh, going against Dallas, I assume.
I gotta go. I gotta go. R.J. Harvey.
I assume
here.
that's who it is, right?
Gotta be
Sean
Trey Tucker.
It could be Sean Tucker.
Well, either way, I'm still gonna go R.J. Harvey here over these guys.
Yep.
He's gonna get more touches than any of those players, whether it's Sean Tucker or the other Tucker guy I just said.
Yes, regardless of Tucker, the answer is R.J. Harvey. I'll highlight quickly Kamani Vidal, who's still clear number 1 guy for the Chargers until Amari Hampton gets back and gets a pretty favorable matchup against the Jags. Run defense didn't have any answer really for Woody Marks or Nick Chubb, at least in terms of an efficiency basis. So Kamani Vidal, I think, is clearly starter worthy as a low-end RB2. Let's jump ahead to the wide receivers. So we take a look at 1 through 10. No surprise, the top 3 guys have really separated themselves from the rest of the league this year. Jamar Chase, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Puka Nacua, the latter 2 who will be going head-to-head today at SoFi Stadium. Ekru Buka sneaks into the top 10. Let's take a look at 11 through 20 with T. Higgins coming in at number 15, Matthew, and T. Higgins had a pretty solid game when he played the Steelers not too long ago.
Yeah, he did. And in fact, since Joe Flacco, comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco has become the starting quarterback. T. Higgins has had at least 8 targets in 3 of those 4 games. He's had 4 touchdowns in the last 3. And it's worth noting that the Steelers, no team in the NFL, the Steelers allow the most yards per game to perimeter wide receivers. Obviously, you've got Chase on the perimeter along with T. Higgins, but both guys should have big games today. I have Higgins as wide receiver 15.
Yep. Also should be a big game, Lawrence, for Zay Flowers, who comes in at 19.
Yeah, I think so. Again, we talked about it earlier. Gotta have it game for the Ravens. In week 2 versus Cleveland, Zay Flowers caught 7 of his 11 targets for 75 yards. And you look on paper and see Cleveland as the second best pass defense in the league, but it's because teams don't gotta pass the ball against them. You know, so there's no Rashad Bateman. Not that that would have affected Flowers anyway, but they'll be more dependent upon him. So I expect solid things out of Zay Flowers today.
Yep. Very much pass funnel defense in Cleveland because their run D is so good. Let's jump to 21 through 30 with the wide receivers. And Matthew, you want to talk about Khalil Shakir, who I don't think Keon Coleman being out affects him that much, but it does just highlight again the fact that he's the clear #1 pass catcher with Coleman and Kincaid both out.
It's one less experienced pass catcher for Josh Allen to look at, along with Dalton Kincaid. So no Keon Coleman, no Dalton Kincaid, which I think is the more important one. Khalil Shakir should have the middle of the field all to himself. And this season, when he gets at least a 20% target share, which we'd expect him to get tonight, he averages 14.4 fantasy points per game. Again, it's supposed to be a little bit windy in Buffalo as well, so some of the shorter stuff that Shakir could do is helpful. Worth noting, the Buccaneers allow the 7th most yards after the catch to opposing wide receivers as well. So Shakir also is, he's fast and able to get going once you get the ball in his hands.
Yep. Viewer question here from Chase Hankin. #FF Pregame, PPR, Rashad White, Shakir, Parker Washington, or Trey Tucker. Also Purdy or Brissett. I think you're taking Purdy over Brissett.
Yes. I agree with that, and I'm going to say Rashad White.
Yep.
We sort of talked about that workload there.
Agreed. Another guy from the 21 through 30 list, Jameson Williams, who had a pretty solid game against your Commanders, Matthew. Different animal, though, going up against the Eagles. And as we can feel right now, the wind perhaps not going to be conducive to long pass plays. He comes in as wide receiver 27 for you, so very much just a flex option this week. Let's take a look at the tight ends, 1 through 10. I didn't think that Theo Johnson would be coming in the top 8 at some point during this year, but he is effectively, or potentially, the #1 pass catching option for Jameis Winston, who, if there's one thing Jameis will do, he'll chuck it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be him and Wan'Dale Robinson leading this attack, right? 4 straight games with at least an 18% target share for Theo Johnson. And again, Darius Slayton is out, so we expect that target share to increase. Since week 4, he's the 10th best wide receiver in fantasy football. He's averaging almost 12 points a game. And so, look, I'm a tight end 8. It is quite the world we live in. But yes, Theo Johnson, just ahead of your guy Kyle Pitts, Lawrence.
Just ahead of him.
Yeah.
Just ahead. And one spot behind Aronde Gadsden, the second Lawrence, who's back after that injury scare, and not a particularly imposing matchup against the Jags.
Yeah, last week he had a 4-game streak broken where he had at least 5 receptions and 68 yards. So he was going 4 straight weeks with at least those numbers. He broke that last week. I think he gets back to that today going against this Jaguars defense that allow the 2nd most fantasy points per game to tight ends. So I think Gaston gets back on track. Barry, you talked about earlier how Keenan Allen kind of cooled off a lot because of the emergence of Gaston. So I think he gets back on track today as a trusted weapon for Justin Herbert.
Indeed. Okay, let's close it out with tight ends 11 through 20. First we have a question from Ali Evans. Marks, Gadsden, or AJ in the flex?
I mean,
Woody Marks?
No, I think it's going to be A.J. Brown, right? I mean, like...
I thought you took Marks over AJ before. I mean, yeah, it's tough. The Simmons factor
is tough. Listen, I actually like all 3 today. A.J. Brown is obviously boom or bust, but the Lions play a lot of man-to-man coverage. Jalen Hurts is actually really good against man coverage, as is A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's really good at beating man coverage. Squeaky wheel, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you get it. But Marks is the safest guy.
Yeah. If you need ceiling, go AJ. If you need floor, go Marks. If you had to play Travion Henderson on Thursday night, start AJ Brown.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Yes.
There.
That's a good way to put it.
All right, let's go to tight ends 11 through 20. Matthew, where Kate Otten, whenever Mike Evans is out, and Chris Godwin out as well, he has been a real weapon for Baker Mayfield.
He really has been. I mean, like, he looks at, it's 28% target share last week. He's been averaging over 7 targets in his past 6 games. Again, sort of right along the timeline that Mike Evans went down. Since week 5, he's a top 10 fantasy tight end. He's had double-digit fantasy points in every game but one during that stretch since week 5. So, yeah, Cade Otton in a game in which, again, it's going to be windy in Buffalo, and so you could see Baker go into some short throws. So Cade Otton is a top 12 play for me this week.
Yep, I like it. Okay, we're not going to do Flip Cup. Great decision.
Yeah.
Great executive decision from producer Adam, because that would have been a catastrophe. So we will just give our picks. Matthew, who have you taken?
My touchdown bet is, I believe,
So
Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle.
Who goes head-to-head against a pretty soft Atlanta Falcons defense, who
Correct.
Jonathan Taylor just ran for 500 yards against. Lawrence, who you got?
Yeah, that's a good bet. I'm going to actually go with Kareem Hunt here. He scored in 2 straight games. He's had 5 rushing touchdowns this season. Most importantly, we know they like him near the goal line. He's tied for 8th in the NFL, carries inside the 5. The only guys ahead of him are guys like Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams. Kareem Hunt doesn't even get that kind of, he don't get that kind of work, but still gets the goal line touches. I'm going with him.
True.
Okay, I will take Josh Jacobs as the 3rd and final leg. Obviously a touchdown machine going up against a very touchdown scorable Giants defense. And also with the wind, I expect that if they get in close, they may want to run it today. So to recap that, Matthew's taking Rico Dowdle.
Yep.
Lawrence taking Kareem Hunt. I'm taking Josh Jacobs. The total parlay there is plus 497 on DraftKings. Good for us. We didn't take any consensus top 3 for Christian McCaffrey in there or anything. Josh Allen warming up, which I've never been more sympathetic to as we feel the cold here. Josh Allen, big day coming up for him against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, trying to bounce back from that loss against the Dolphins. We're going to hit our break. When we come back, beer goggles.
I have to walkie-talkie to him because he's so damn tall, so I can't really have a face-to-face conversation with him. But, in Buffalo, it's cold, it's rainy. Even though he's 6'10", his hands are small, so he better wear his gloves.
That's crazy. Baker wears 2 gloves golfing, so he's that type of guy.
Okay. Lawrence Jackson also is going to be a two-glove man after this day in Philadelphia. I'm very glad.
By the way, for the young people out there, you should always be a two-glove person.
Oh, yeah. Is that right? Okay.
Just one glove.
Yeah, indeed. I'm very glad that Baker Mayfield's good and he's in our lives. He's a great character, great dude, very guest on the show. He's fantastic. So when it was in
podcast, no doubt.
Carolina Baker, the teal never looked good on him. So I'm glad that he made his way to Tampa and is thriving there and is part of the blockbuster matchup against Josh Allen today. All right, we're going to start off in that game for beer goggles, where, as Matthew tells us every week, is on a scale of 1 to 5 beers for how inebriated you would need to be to feel
a normal person.
Yeah, a normal person. As you are impervious. Physically impervious.
I'm impervious to beer.
Not impervious to wind or cold, but impervious to alcohol.
Very pervious
through the mechanism
to wind and cold
of beer. All right, let's get it started, Matthew, with Tampa Bay Buffalo staying in that game. Rashad White, how many beers would you need?
2 beers. You know, look, the workload is there, right? He's averaging over 16 touches a game. He's got a 12% target share in his 5 starts. He's averaging over 13 points per game. Now, we are seeing some Sean Tucker, but he is so good in pass protection. They trust the veteran out there, and it's worth noting that the Bills can be run on. They're giving up the 3rd most rushing yards per game to opposing running backs. So, you know, like, I don't love if I'm making the Rashad White case, I don't love how much Tucker is starting to eat into his workload. And I'm a Sean Tucker fan, have been, talked about him in the preseason as well. So, but for today, I do think he's a mid-tier RB2, 2 beers to start Rashad White.
Okay. The aforementioned Baker Mayfield, how many beers, Lawrence?
Yeah, I would need 3 beers to start him at Buffalo. But shout out to him. He got back on track last week, quarterback 7 in week 10. But Buffalo defense allows the 4th fewest points versus quarterbacks. And you look at some of the recent quarterbacks they've played. Tua actually played a good game versus them, quarterback 18. Mahomes was quarterback 22 versus the Bills. Drake May, quarterback 25. So it would take me about 3 beers to start Baker today.
Okay, 3 beers for me as well with Khalil Shakir. He is the #1 pass-catching option for Josh Allen. But again, this just isn't an offense that is particularly funneled to one player seemingly ever. He's probably going to need a touchdown to provide immense value. So, look, Khalil Shakir, viable as a low-end wide receiver 2, decent flex option, but not super excited about the prospects. Let's jump ahead to Baltimore at Cleveland. Zay Flowers. Matthew, how many beers?
Just 1.5 beers. I mean, honestly, again, it's a pretty good workload, right? In his first match with Cleveland back in week 2, 39% target share, went 7 for 75. So you're not scared about the matchup as it relates to Zay Flowers. In the 5 games that he's played so far this year with Lamar, the 5 full games that he's played with Lamar Jackson, he's averaging 74 receiving yards. No Rashad Bateman in this game either. So Zay Flowers should get a little bit more love from Lamar. He's my wide receiver 19. He's a top 20 play for me. Just 1.5 beers. I think he's fine. He's probably not going to get into the end zone, but he should be a solid wide receiver 2.
Okay. Quinshon Judkins. Lawrence, how many beers?
2.5. 2.5 for Quinshon. I know he's going to get all the touches for Cleveland, but he hasn't scored a touchdown since week 7, and no running back has rushed for more than 67 yards versus Baltimore since week 3. So if Quinshon Judkins gets 67 rush yards, no touchdowns, that's tough. 2.5 beers.
Okay. Jerry Jeudy, 4 beers for me there. Jerry Jeudy hasn't been particularly good. There have been some signs of life, but ultimately against the Ravens defense that is improving, particularly with how they're moving around Kyle Hamilton. I think he can do better than Jerry Jeudy for the most part. We're going to pause beer goggles and take some questions.
Wow.
Yeah, unbelievable. Producer Adam flexing his muscle. Bucky Pinder. McConkey, Vidal, or Rashad White at flex?
I think it's Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this matchup and how much we like Justin Herbert here as well. So Ladd McConkey, we think it's him.
Yep.
By the way, Devon Achane left the game. Couldn't get in. Got two goal-to-go rushing attempts. Couldn't get in. My Commanders didn't understand the assignment. They didn't understand that I have Devon Achane on a lot of different teams.
Wow.
Let him get in there, not get injured.
And now they about to go and win.
I know. They stopped Devon Achane, and he got hurt. And so he walked off the field under his own power, which is good. We don't know the severity of it. At least I don't at the moment. But we're We'll hope.
Hopefully Chris
Hopefully
Moore's
he
okay.
good.
Just took a bad fall. How exciting can irrelevance be? We'll see as we head to overtime in Madrid.
Yeah.
Missed the kick.
Matt Gay missed
Michael
the kick. What a
Stratt,
shocker.
PPR flex, Derrick Henry against Cleveland's D, or Dallas Goedert, still Derrick Henry.
It's
Derrick
still Derrick
Henry.
Henry, yeah.
Yeah.
Much better chance at a touchdown. They'll want to. They'll want
Dallas
to
got
run
a
against
good now,
Cleveland.
but yeah, Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Okay. It's unbelievable. This is going to overtime. Sam I Am. Hashtag FF pregame. Can you imagine Matt's ankles in some ruby slippers? I try not to, Sam I Am. I try not to every day of my life. Need flex, full PPR, Addison, Quentin Johnston, or Singletary.
Well, now I know what to get you for Christmas. Just a big picture of that, framed, of course, suitable for the bedroom. I think QJ is the answer here. I'm nervous about Devin Singletary. We haven't really talked about this much, but, no Brian Daboll, now Mike Kafka. Singletary was a Daboll guy from their days in Buffalo together. He brought Devin Singletary.
Yeah.
I think Kafka, young coach, want to give him – he's talked up Tyrone Tracy. I think you will see Tyrone Tracy have a much bigger workload today than Singletary. So I don't really want any of that. We've talked about Addison just because of the struggles of J.J. McCarthy. So to me, it's QJ who is starting to come on the last couple of weeks. It's worth noting that Keenan Allen has a 55% route participation over the last 3 weeks. So again, his usage has been going down.
Yep. Okay, let's jump back on the beer goggles horse. Matthew, the goggle horse.
Yeah.
Chargers at Jags. Your man, Quentin Johnston, who you just shouted some knowledge about. How many beers for him?
2.5 beers as well. Again, they have so many mouths to feed between Keenan and McConkey and Gadsden and, of course, the running backs. But Jaguars have allowed 7 touchdowns to opposing wide receivers in the last 4 weeks. 7 and 4. They're basically averaging 2 touchdowns. So do we think QJ gets one of them? Very possibly. You can throw deep on Jacksonville. Over the last 2 games, 26% target share for QJ and 67% of the team's end zone targets. That's the important thing is like 2/3 of their end zone targets have gone to QJ over the last couple of games. So, I'm at wide receiver 26. He's a boom-bust wide receiver 3, but I think he's more likely to boom today than bust.
Okay. Lawrence, how about Kamani Vidal?
Honestly, man, 0 beers for me to start him against this Jaguars defense who gave up a combined 19 carries, 110 yards and a touchdown to Woody Marks, Nick Chubb last weekend. He himself at least 23 carries and 95 yards and a touchdown in 2 of his last 3 games. So I don't need any beers that don't affect Matthew to start Kamani Vidal.
There you go.
I like it. Parker Washington, 3 beers for me. And it would be closer to 2 beers than 4 with the news that Brian Thomas Jr. is out. And also expecting that Jacoby Myers, his usage might pick up a little bit. Difficult matchup against the Chargers defense that's really well coached by Jesse Minter and put Aaron Rodgers in the blender. Parker Washington is a bit dependent on that special teams touchdown last week against Houston, but still a viable flex option there. Speaking of Houston, Texans at Titans, Woody Marks. We've said his name a lot.
Yes, we have.
There's a lot of Woody Marks.
I don't know how that's happened, but
out there. But let's say his name a couple more times, Matthew. How many beers for Woody Marks?
Yeah, just 2 beers. Over the last 7 games, Tennessee has given up at least 16 fantasy points to a running back in 6 of them. Right? Played 78% of the snaps last week. He got 16 of the Texans' 22 running back touches. So he got a significant workload last week. Now, again, the reason it's 2 beers and not 1 or 0 is that a lot of that was in comeback mode. He is their pass-catching back, and they're on the road now. And so hopefully that's earned him a bigger playing time, how well he played in their comeback. But, it's Davis Mills under center. So 2 beers for Woody Marks. He's my running back 20. I'm a believer. I believe in the role. I believe in the talent. I believe in this matchup. But it's a non-zero chance that there's something, doesn't happen here, that we got too much Nick Chubb. And so he's 2 beers.
Yeah, it's funny. Tua just gave an answer to the ref about the overtime toss, and the ref didn't understand. It's like there's binary choices here, Tua. I don't understand what's going on there.
I want to defer to here.
Right. The poor Berlin people. They've got it's prolonged.
Berlin's doing okay, but the game's in Madrid, and the Madridistas, they're struggling. This one gets prolonged into overtime. Whoever wins loses in the long run. Lawrence, Dalton Schultz, how many beers for him?
1.5 beers for Dalton Schultz. He has caught 17% of Davis Mills' targets in those 2 starts that Mills has been starting, and he's been targeted 8 times one game, 11 times the other. So he's looking for Dalton Schultz. So not much. I don't need that many beers to start him.
Yep. Well, I need some beers to start Tony Pollard. 4 beers there.
Yes, you do.
A brutal matchup against an elite Texans run defense. Tajay Spears healthier, getting more work as well. The Texans are 6-point favorites there, so Titans not expected to have game script. Tony Pollard, it just feels like a game where he's like 14 carries for 55 yards, no touchdowns, and no receiving work. So
it's been really tough.
Yeah,
it's been really tough. I wish. Supposedly, there's a rumor that the Patriots tried to trade for Tony Pollard, reunite him with Mike Vrabel, and it did not. Because of the bad blood between the Titans organization and Vrabel, they did not do it. That the owner of that's the rumor. I could not prove it, but that's the rumor that they nixed the ownership of the Titans nixed the trade of sending Pollard to Vrabel.
Yeah, well, they've got Draven Henderson, so I don't know why they really need Tony Pollard anyway. Question from AR could be Austin Reeves, Anthony Richardson.
Definitely Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, it could be Anthony Richardson. Yeah, he's at home. Hope you get better with the orbital bone.
I think the answer is R.J. Harvey and Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know the role for Pearsall. Mark Andrews is so touchdown dependent. Harvey's the easy one, but then Goddard, who's become more a part of this offense, he's been really good so far this year.
He's got 7 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Dallas Goedert.
Yep, I think that is the correct answer as well. Ross, Matthews Man Monungai, Parker Washington, or Calvin Ridley? I think it's Washington, isn't it?
I think it's Washington. You know, like, Monungai's got a better chance at falling into the end zone, but but Parker Washington's, been nothing short of terrific. Again, no Brian Thomas Jr. here. Jacoby Myers just getting there. He has said that it's a complicated system, Liam Combs' offense, so it's going to take him a little while to get up to speed. So I'm going to say Parker Washington again.
Yep, I agree. Don't think you can trust Calvin Ridley, particularly with this matchup against the Texans' pass defense. Brian Tofson.
Tobson.
Tobson? Yeah, I'm going to go with Tobson on X. Love the show, guys. Thank you, Brian. We love you. Need help with an RB and flex spot, half PPR. Zach Charbonnet, KW3, or Matthews guy, Parker Washington with BTJ out. Appreciate the help. I like that he's your guy, Matthew. Let's associate.
Well, let's start. He needs help with a running back and a flex spot. So let's start with the running back. Is KW3 or Zach Charbonnet? I think the answer's got to be... I think the answer is Charbonnet because he's just got the better chance at a touchdown.
Yeah.
Said it at the same time. That means he's scoring today.
Yeah. I think, and the Rams, tough defense as well.
Oh, Mariota interception in overtime.
Mariota. He understands the assignment.
Mariota, except.
Yeah. Okay, so RB and flex, half PPR. So, yeah, Charbonnet is the running back. And then are we taking KW3 or Parker Washington as the flex?
I think we are taking
Parker Washington, man.
I
want to go ahead.
Parker Washington.
I know, I kind of do.
Take Parker Washington.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason you would think about Walker here is if you're just like, you know what, screw it. I've got the Seattle running back.
Right. You would hope that at least one of them score.
Right.
I'm not sure that you want the Seattle running back.
Yeah,
and that's
not against the Rams.
I
They're really
don't know
good.
that either one of them will.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's not like
the Rams are really good defensively against the run.
Yep. Indeed. Okay, so there's your answer. KW3 is the odd man out.
Yeah.
Another one, Tim Knox, PPR flex, Cade Otton or Troy Franklin?
I think it depends on what you need. Otton's the floor play. Franklin's the upside play. I'd probably go with Cade Otton. You've heard me talk about how much I like him. And in terms of Troy Franklin, again, playing Kansas City, Chiefs off of a bye. And, with Marvin Mims is back today, expected back today. So now you've got more competition and, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, Otton's good.
I think Otton. No, I said Otton.
I think we're all just thinking about how it's good that Devon Achane is back in the game and just had a good run for Miami in overtime. So
thank God.
Shout out to him.
Yep. It would be great if he broke one for a touchdown. My Commanders could lose. We can have a good draft next year. Yeah.
Okay. Cade Otton's the choice there, Tim. So the Dolphins look to salt this one away. Achane back in and continuing running. All right, let's jump to pickup lines. Where it was a bad start to the season. We started to turn it around A little bit. You both won last week, right?
3-7, 3-6. We looking like the Commanders and the Dolphins
Yeah,
right
there you
now.
go.
Just
That's
toughing it out.
Yeah,
trying
let's send Jay and Lawrence overseas.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Madrid.
Yeah.
Madrid's one of my 30
Here you
favorite
go.
cities in the world.
Here you go, Berlin. They're gonna make bets in front of you.
If you're
these
going to
two guys.
send me overseas, you got to bring the Titans right along with me, because this is what I'm going to do, Matthew. Here we go.
Okay.
Titans.
Sure.
You know what we expect today.
Plus money, Titans.
Yeah, but except it's on under
Okay.
14.5 points. So we're going to give them 2 touchdowns today,
yeah.
right, in some garbage time. Listen, Houston Texans, the top-ranked defense in the NFL, going versus the Tennessee Titans, worst-ranked offense in the NFL. It just makes too much sense. Tennessee has scored 14 or less points in 3 of their last 4 games. In that one game that they didn't, they would have. Justin Herbert just threw the pick 6. So it wasn't even, it was nothing really. So they literally like to score under 14 points. The over-under this game, 37.5. You go back to week 4, Houston beat them 26-0. So who would be shocked if it's any different today? We haven't seen any improvements over there for Tennessee Titans. So there you go, Matthew. Tennessee Titans under 14.5. That's went down to plus 105.
I like that. I like it.
I like it. I like it because for it to lose, the Titans would have to score 15 points
They
or more.
would have to score. That's 2 TDs and a kick.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Which doesn't
that's a
make...
lot against this Texans defense.
Yep, indeed. Okay, my bet, Matthew, is we spoke about him before. T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Over 4.5 receptions. He's only set at 4.5. Last week, he had 9 targets, brought in 7 of them. He has gone over this number in 3 of the 4 games with Joe Flacco. He's gotten at least 8 targets in 3 of the 4 games with Joe Flacco. And if only we'd seen these 2 teams play 3 weeks ago, which we did. And T. Higgins had 10 targets in that game for 6 receptions. The Bengals are 5.5-point dogs. I think that their defense is so bad they're going to have to throw. Outside of that weird game against the Jets, where I don't know what happened to T. Higgins in that game, but he has gotten a ton of usage with your man Joe Flacco, so I think he gets at least 5 catches today.
I think they're both good bets. I really like that. So it's just whether do I bet on the strength of T. Higgins or the ineptitude of the Titans. And I think I'm betting on the ineptitude of the Titans.
I like it.
So I like both bets. I'm going to take both bets, but Lawrence, I'm going home with you.
Okay, well done, Lawrence.
Yeah. Lucky you.
You're gonna have
I'm gonna need some real snuggling because it is cold.
Yeah.
You have
We
to
about to
warm
get
me
out of
up.
here.
I, for one, question Matthew's ability to perform in the cold. So you might
Rightfully so.
Might have to give him some help, Lawrence.
Yes. Yeah,
All
exactly.
right, let's get to some questions. Hana Bog on YouTube. I need a wide receiver and a flex. Between these guys, DJ Moore, Parker Washington, Theo Johnson, Jerry Jeudy, Michael Wilson, or David Montgomery.
Oh,
half
good gosh.
PPR.
Okay, a wide receiver among all these. I think the answer is Parker Washington. Actually, I'm nervous about DJ Moore. I mean,
didn't do anything last week.
no,
No
he's
stats.
just- yeah,
He
and
cost
then
me
I
my
think
matchup against you.
I know, and I think it's crazy, but I actually think Theo Johnson over David Montgomery for the flex.
I know, but DJ Moore
Montgomery's
as well.
going to need to Montgomery would need to score.
He needs a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. And just, the Eagles' run defense with Jalen Phillips has gotten a lot better. And so, that's welcome to fantasy football. Your answer is Parker Washington and Theo Johnson.
Yeah.
Theo Johnson.
You drafted
Out of Penn
DJ
State.
Moore and Jerry Jeudy and David Montgomery, and all of a sudden you're starting, not those guys. Rebel Depot.
By the
One
way,
of my
that's a
favorite
great
depots.
name. Can you imagine, honey, I'll be back. I'm going to the Rebel Depot. I got to grab a couple for Sunday.
Yeah.
We're storming the castle.
That sounds like a biker bar.
The irony actually is, so you guys have Dick's Sporting Goods and stuff here.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Australian version is actually called Rebel Sport. So I'm
Okay.
going to Rebel. So
Yeah, yeah.
maybe a fellow Australian
maybe he's
Rebel
a fellow
Depot.
Australian.
Yeah.
He's a fellow-
Anyway, let's help out Rebel Depot. Flex help Charbonnet, Algier, and Harold Fannin.
I'm going to say Fannin just because the other two need touchdowns to pay off. Fannin is somebody that could easily get
He's getting the ball.
7 for 60 and have yourself a good day without
Probably more like
scoring.
7 for 42, but still that's
Okay,
7 for
whatever.
As
42.
long as the 7 is there,
Right,
we're
yeah.
good.
Right.
Yeah. Dylan Gabriel should be in a throw script for whatever that is worth against the Baltimore Ravens as a 7.5-point dog. Another question from Jerry.
They extended it, by the way, but the Commanders have, in fact, lost. Congratulations
Well
to the
done.
Commanders.
They gave
Well
Madrid
done,
a great
Miami.
show.
Yes,
Why watch-
overtime field goal.
Why watch Kylian Mbappe when you can watch Chris Rodriguez in Madrid?
There you
As I
go.
always say. Jerry Jams, #FF pregame, 1-point PPR, Michael Wilson or Kareem Hunt. That's a tough one.
It is.
Tough.
I think
it
it's
is a tough one.
But I
Hunt
think
because of the touchdown.
I think Kareem Hunt scores, and therefore I pick Kareem.
Yeah, I think Hunt's the answer as well. I agree.
Yeah, I know. I think that is the again. It's a tough matchup against Denver's defense, but ultimately we expect the Chiefs to score. Expect them to be in scoring position, and Kareem Hunt should be unopposed at the goal line
No doubt.
for the most part.
And I think you can run on Denver.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, they're good, but they're not like.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, 165 yards. Kareem Hunt's not Jonathan Taylor, but he's a running back.
Yes.
All right, we're going to hit our
He gets
last
65.
break. Yeah, he gets 65. We're going to hit our last break. When we come back, it's last call as we try and catch Matthew in bar trivia.
Yes.
If you squint closely, you can see the remnants of Lawrence's papers still floating around Lincoln Financial Field.
They somewhere.
I wonder if they're going to get. I mean,
one
can
more
you
comment.
imagine if Saquon Barkley gets tripped up on one of those papers later tonight?
It could be an international disaster, as was my top 30 rankings of cities. Josh J, 57, shout out to Berlin. Cracking J's top 30, lol. To be fair, I'll revise the list on the train home, but I think Berlin might be in the top 7. Yeah.
Wow, in the top 7.
It's
Have you been to 30 cities?
Yes.
30 international
I've been
cities?
to 39 countries, actually.
Wow.
And those countries all possess cities.
Fair.
So I've been
Okay.
to more than
Yeah.
to 30 cities.
Somehow.
Yeah. That's the nature of countries.
Yeah.
They have cities. All right, we're going to break. Last calls next.
All right.
Okay, the wind has abated a little bit for us as we settle into our final segment. Take a look at Emeka Egbuka, who's going to be dealing with the wind himself in Buffalo. The Rook is playing like a vet. He is, and he's the number one guy in this passing offense, or 1 million targets last week. So should be a pretty big game, I think, for Emeka Egbuka today. Is he Offensive Rookie of the Year for you, Lawrence? Him or Tyler Warren?
Tyler Warren, I like Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
Teams a little better.
Yeah, better.
So yeah, but it's close though. Still got a lot of ball to play.
Yeah, still got a lot of ball to play. Maybe Travion Henderson, if he keeps scoring 1 million touchdowns, can break into that.
On another good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go Tyler Warren.
Corey Krosky-Merritt.
Corey Krosky-Merritt. Yeah.
They'll be drafting another running back.
They flashed a graphic saying that he's 3 yards per carry since week 5.
Fantastic.
Seems low.
Yeah.
Seems a bit low. All right, let's get into it, gentlemen. All right, take a question. Stephen Mercado, half PPR. Tracy against the number 6 run D. Stephen coming with his own stats. Charbonnet against the number 1 run D, or Dortch at flex.
I think it's still Tyrone Tracy again. kind of windy. I think they will try to lean on him. I think Kafka, the interim head coach, Mike Kafka, will try to lean on the young guy. I think he actually gets a pretty good workload today.
Yep. Tyron Tracy for me.
He's also a good pass catcher to the backfield as well.
Former receiver.
Jordan Morris, #FF Pregame. Need help for my flexual issues, don't we all? Yep. Pick one, Kelsey, Judy, Algier. Already have Parker Washington in my other flex. Dalton Schultz starting tight end. I think it's Kelsey.
Yeah.
Kelsey.
Yeah.
Kelsey, reasonable.
Kill a Trav.
Yeah, Kill a Trav.
Yeah, I think it's Kill a Trav.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, it's not Jerry Judy. I'll tell you that much. It's Tyler Algier.
It doesn't matter what the question is. The answer is never Jerry Judy.
Don't even write him in next time.
Justin Slater, Judkins, Worthy, Franklin, PPR pick one. I think it's Quinshon
Judkins.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Easy money there.
He may be 3.5 yards per carry, but if you get 20 carries,
it adds up.
That's still 70 yards.
I would be happy with 80 yards or even 70 from Quinshon, even if it don't come with a touchdown. You just got to lower the expectations a bit. In anything else, then it's a plus.
Yep.
Okay, gentlemen, it's last call. Let's jump into bar trivia.
Yes.
We're going to show
the records? Are we showing the records?
We don't have to show the standings. We don't want to.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, it burns.
Oh,
a little bit of
God.
warmth from this fire. It's cold day.
Should I take a week off? Should I just,
I don't know if that'll help us.
I don't even know how it's possible to go 54, 78, and 1. These are like binary 50-50 type questions.
It's
seems improbable.
I think that this is definitely a bigger lead than what I had last year.
I think Medium Show's trying to screw me, honestly. I would like to see the votes. Let's see the count.
I thought
I just hope you don't get deported for this.
I thought last week I had an extra one right, so I did like you did last year, Barry. I emailed our researcher, Zach Miles, shout out to him, and he was like, nah, Lawrence, in fact, you was wrong. Saquon had less rushing yards than Josh Jacobs. And I was like, damn, because I thought it was total yards. I'm trying to get something.
Oh, yeah.
I'm leaving with something.
Let's hear from Medium Show. He's Johnny on the spot. He's got it.
Yeah,
Matthew's basically the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East, just trying to play defense on his huge early divisional lead
after
here.
my showing in the show league, I need this.
Yeah. All right, let's jump straight into it. More fantasy points. Matthew, Bijan Robinson or Rico Dowdle?
Rico Dowdle.
Damn, Bijan.
Yeah, screw you. Bijan Robinson gets
enough.
it done. More passing yards. Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield, Lawrence?
Man. Baker.
Baker.
Josh Allen.
All right. I'm making up ground as we speak. More rushing yards. Matthew, Woody Marks or Tony Pollard?
Woody Marks.
Woody Marks.
The Woodler, Woody Marks for me too. More fantasy points, DeAndre Swift or Justin Jefferson, Lawrence? This is a JJ McCarthy
I will go
question.
Justin Jefferson.
Man, give me DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift. More passing yards, Jordan Love or Jameis Winston?
Jameis Winston.
Jordan Love.
Jameis Winston. I'm actually not trying to gain ground on you. I'm just trying to get closer to 500.
Yeah,
so I actually don't care. Winning
baby
is
steps.
not possible. More total yards, Chase Brown or Jalen Warren?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Jalen Warren.
I agree, Jalen Warren.
Jalen Warren. More rushing yards, Travis Etienne or the Kamani Dragon, Kamani Vidal? Vidal.
More rushing yards. I'll go Travis Etienne.
Okay. More fantasy points, Puka Nacua or JSN? I'm going to go with JSN.
I can't go against JSN.
Apparently JSN's the greatest receiver to ever live. It's unbelievable. What he's
I'll
doing,
go JSN.
Okay. More passing yards, Brock Purdy or Jacoby Brissett? I'm going to take Brissett.
Let's go Brock. Let's go Brock.
I'm going to take Brissett in comeback mode.
Yeah.
Give me Brock.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Jacoby Brissett as well.
Yeah.
I took the under on Brock Purdy earlier in Proper Shot.
Yep. More rushing yards, Derrick Henry or Quinshon Judkins? King Henry.
King Henry.
More fantasy points, Cortland Sutton or Travis Kelce?
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, whoever was against Sutton, so Travis Kelce.
Kill a Trav.
Killer Cortland.
Oh, wow, okay.
I don't feel great about that, but it's been
nor
said.
should
It's
you.
done. Yeah. More total yards, Jahmyr Gibbs or Saquon Barkley?
I'm going to take Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs for me too. And last one, Monday Night Football special, Javonte Williams or Ashton Genty. And who'd have thought the superior running back was on Dallas' side in this one. And I'm going to take Javonte.
I'm picking him.
I'm going to take Ashton Genty.
Give me
for most rushing
Javonte
yards.
Williams.
Okay, looks like we got a couple of questions before we say adios.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. A fire outside. God, I'd love it right now if you could come close to us, Mr. Fire Outside. Hang in there, guys. We're not hanging in, but we are here. Needing 2 for half-point PPR. Michael Wilson, Dalton Schultz, Jake Ferguson, Amari DiMercato, or Ricky Pearsall.
I mean, I don't know how you bench Jake Ferguson, right? I mean, you know,
Fergler.
The Fergler. He's just been so good. So, I think I'm gonna go with Jake Ferguson and actually Dalton Schultz.
Yeah,
I can't believe suggesting 2 tight ends, but
go and run that 12 personnel on them.
Yep. By the way, fire outside. I've been to Siberia in winter. One of my 30 favorite cities, Irkutsk, the capital of Siberia. It's colder here right now than Siberia.
This is tough.
I think it's ironic that we got a question from a dude with a name Fire Outside, and I think he's trying to tease us.
Yes. Bagel Chief. I was late to the car this morning getting some bagels. Bagel Chief, I needed you on the streets of Philadelphia. Full PPR. Pick one, Rome Odunze, DK Metcalf, or Parker Washington, or Schultz.
It's all close, but I'll go with Rome Odunze. I think. Yeah.
Don't feel good about any of these guys, but Rome Odunze's probably got the highest ceiling. And also, a Vikings defense he's going up against. It is good. It's a good Vikings defense, but it's also one that...
They take chances.
They take chances, and also, like, recently they're blitzing 64% of the time, which is completely insane. Like, you're blitzing almost 2/3 of the plays, so I think there will be big plays open, and Caleb has actually been very good against the blitz, too, so I will take Rome Odunze, too, Mr. Bagel Chief. Okay, Titanic Feet Jack. Epic trio of names that we've just gotten here. Full PPR, do I feel safe flexing Egbuka? Or Gadsden.
I can't imagine benching Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah, Ibuka's. To be fair, Ibuka was fantastic last week, and even before that, he wasn't having great production before the bye, but he's still getting like 13, 8 targets. He's getting the work, and he goes up against the Buffalo secondary that just got torched by Tua Tagovailoa, who needed overtime to score 16 points against the Commanders. So, feel pretty good about Emeka Egbuka there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any final parting thoughts for us, Matthew?
Yeah. Are you surprised that the Bears are getting points from the Vikings?
Yeah.
That, you know.
I think, and no offense to J.D. McCarthy, who is what? This is going to be game number 6, is it? Like five or six? And he may well turn into a good quarterback. I think right now he is probably the worst quarterback in the NFL. Like his off-target throw rate, the fact as well that he's been bad with these weapons in this system. I think Caleb Williams is the much better quarterback. I think the Bears are just playing better at the moment, so I'd certainly take Bears +3.
Before last week, he hadn't thrown more than 25 times. He did last week, 42, and completed less than 50%. He got to play more football. That's what it comes down to.
I'm with you there. Bears. I think Bears get it done.
Yes, I agree with you right there. All right, well, listen, it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but honestly, you probably should, given the conditions. But you can't stay here. For Lawrence and Jay, I'm Matthew. We are officially gone with the wind. We'll see you Monday for pregame. Peace out.